Okay, hello everyone. So welcome you all again to the TCube GATE classes. So this is the lecture number 6, which is related to probability and statistics, and today we are going to discuss about the random variables. Okay, so this is one of the very most common question which is coming in your competitive exam or in GATE. So let's get to know what do you mean by random variables. Okay. So the very first we'll start with the random variables. Okay, so before proceeding to this, I'll give you a few examples and we'll move on to that to this concept. Okay, so let us say we are tossing a fair coin twice. Okay, we know the sample space is your double H, contains the outcomes as TH and double tails. Okay, because we are tossing only a fair coin twice. Okay, see, now what happened, let us go for the second example. Let us say your roll of fair die twice. Okay, so here you know that you have 36 outcomes. Okay, so rather than writing all the outcomes, can we go for an alternate way of getting to the sample space? Okay, so what do I mean, that we'll specify a certain attribute and which will correspond to each of the outcomes of the sample space. Okay, so one would if one is not interested to write all the outcomes, so it is better to provide an attribute which will correspond to each of the outcome of the sample space. Okay, so from this concept the terminology random variable is arising. Okay, so that means the random variable or in short it is referred as your RV. Okay, the random variable generally is a function, okay, defined from sample space, okay, to a set of real numbers. Okay, see, generally all these random variables, they used to be denoted with capital X, okay, or capital Y or capital Z. In general you can find in any book. Okay, so capital, if I refer it as the first as the capital X, okay, so this will be a function from the sample space to a set of real numbers. Okay, fine. That means what, each of the outcome will refer to a real number, let us say a small k, which is a real number. Okay, so now this random variable is categorized into two. Okay, one is the discrete random variable, okay, and the second one is the continuous random variable. Okay, so discrete means what, here the sample space is discrete. Okay, so sample space is discrete or finite. Okay, so that each of the outcome will correspond to a specific real number. Okay, that may not be 1 but that will correspond to a real number. Okay, I'll give you the examples, all these examples. These two are the examples of the discrete random variable, and the other examples I can provide, that the marks obtained by students in a subject. Okay, right, this will also referred as the discrete random variable. Then the fourth one, let us say the what do I say, the number of accidents, okay, at a place in a month. Okay, right? So these are all precisely a real number. Okay, but what happened if I'll go for the continuous random variable? It is not necessary that you will get a specific real number corresponding to each real number, each outcome. Okay, so here what happened, the range here, this will be defined in a certain interval. Okay, so let us say the average temperature okay, in a place in a month, say. Okay, or I can say the average rainfall also, right? Then we can say the age, okay, weight or height of a group of people. Okay, though this is not the part of our course today. Okay, so we are going to discuss about the discrete random variable. Okay, so now let's go for the first example as this one. Okay, so the very first example here is your toss a fair coin twice. Right, so we know that the sample space is your, I have already written, let us write this. Okay, so what is one of the convenient way of defining a random variable? So here let us see, your let x be the random variable. Okay, so attribute I am specifying now here as x be the random variable which, let us say, counts the number of heads in each outcome. Okay, so number of heads in each outcome, that means what, the first outcome will correspond to 2. Okay, this will correspond to 1, and the third one will also correspond to 1, and the fourth one will correspond to 0. Okay, see, now what happened, if I'll write the values of x, capital X, which are your the real numbers as small x, so you do have three values 0, 1 and 2, because this is your discrete random variable and the sample space is finite. Okay, so corresponding to each of the real number you do have a probability. Okay, why? Because each of the real number is referring an outcome or a set of outcomes in the sample space. Okay, so that's why if I write the probability of x equals to 0, this is corresponding to your tails and tails, that means your 1 out of 4. Okay, 1 out of the 4 outcomes. So 1 is corresponding to your two outcomes, which are HT and TH, that's why this will be your 2 out of 4 or 1 out of 2 I can write. Okay, similarly 2 is corresponding to your only one outcome, which is your heads and heads. Okay, that means 1 out of 4, right? So this is now whatever you are getting here for each of the real values. Okay, so this is called the probability mass function. Okay, okay, or in short it is referred as your PMF. Okay, so now we will go for the probability, not the probability, distribution function only. Okay, so which is generally referred as your x less than or equals to x. Okay, that means what, its value at 0 is same, okay, as 1 by 4, whereas for 1 will be what, 1 by 4 plus 1 by 2. Okay, what I mean, that probability that x is less than or equals to 1 will be probability that x equals to 0 and probability that x equals to 1. Okay, this I mean. So this will be your 3 by 4, and similarly at 2 will be this plus 3 by 4 is your 1. Okay, so this is not much required right now, you just keep it as a rough note. Okay, see, next you have to end it only with 1, otherwise you have committed a mistake. Okay, so this is referred as your or denoted as small f subscripted x and the value at each of the real number. Okay, so this is called your distribution function. okay, or I can say your df, right? So now if you'll just represent or denote this uh, the set of order pairs, okay, the set of order pairs, okay, that means your the real value along with its corresponding probability mass function, okay, where your I is running from. Here in this case is 1, 2 and 3, okay. This set of order pairs is called the probability distribution of x, okay. Or else it can be plotted in the 2D space, okay. So if this is x and you have the probability, so mass function here on the vertical axis, let us say this is 0, this is 1 and 2. So for each you do have a corresponding mass function, okay. That means your 1 by 2 at 0 is this, at 1 is 1 by 2 and at 2 is 1 by 4 as you have taken here, okay. This is just the rough sketch you have taken, okay. So here in this problem we have 0, 1 by 4, 1, 1 by 2 and 2 and 1 by 4. This set represents the probability distribution of x, okay. So now a few properties of probability mass function, okay, or PMF. The very first property is said that probability mass function at any of the real value is always greater than or equals to 0. This is xi, okay. And the second part says that the sum of all the probability mass functions, okay, is 1, okay. Because we have only 3 values here, I can assume it as x1, x2, x3, but to generalize this concept I have taken from 1 to n, okay, as I have told you that you have to end it with 1, okay, fine. So now let's go for the second problem we have. Second example says that roll a fair die, okay, twice, okay. We know the sample space will contain 36 outcomes, okay, as this. But to define a random variable, let us say your y be the random variable, because we have already used x there, okay, in the previous example. Y be the random variable which counts, okay, the sum of outcomes of upturned faces, okay. Upturned means we are the face from which you are getting the outcome, okay, the front facing, right. So so if we are getting we are counting the sum of the outcomes in both the roles, okay, that means we have to start with 1 and 1, okay, that is the least possible sum we have. And if the most or the largest possible value or the largest possible sum will be 6, that will be 12, okay. So let's first start with your y as 2, okay. So it will be corresponding to your only 1, 1, that order pair, that means your 1 out of 36, okay. Then if I'll go for y equals to 3, it will be corresponding to your 2 out of 36. You can check 1, 2 and 2, 1 are the order pairs, okay. Then if I'll go for y equals to 4, this will be corresponding to your 3 outcomes out of 36, okay. Similarly you go on writing, y equals to 5 will be 4 out of 36, y equals to 6 will be 5 out of 36, and probability that y equals to 7 will be 6 out of 36, okay. So let's go for the 7 will be corresponding to your 1, 6, okay. Then your 2, 5, 3, 4, 4, 3, 5, 2 and 6, 1, okay. So there are 6 outcomes which are favorable to getting the sum as 7, okay. So now if I'll go for probability that y equals to 8 will be, now you can go back, okay, 5 out of 36, okay. Probability that y equals to 9 will be 4 out of 36, right? And probability that y equals to 10 will be, or sum as 10 will be 3 out of 36. Now you go on writing, when the sum is 11 will be 2 out of 36 and 12 will be 1 out of 36, okay. Rather than writing all the 36 outcomes, you can directly provide this attribute as the sum of the outcomes of the upturned faces here, okay. So for our convenience here, what I'll do, the values of y is, let us say your y is a small y, okay. Let me take here, okay. So the sums here we have taken as a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12, okay. So these are the sums we have from 2 to 12. Then the probability mass functions, okay, are your 1 out of 36, 2 out of 36, 3 by 36, 4 out of 36, 5 out of 36, 6 out of 36, okay. Then your 5 out of 36, 4 out of 36, then your 3 out of 36, 2 out of 36 and 1 out of 36, okay. So up to 7 you have. So how the question will come, see, what is the probability of getting the sum of the outcomes as 7 is 6 out of 36, if you have remember. So that is the probability mass function, okay, at 7, okay. So similarly, if I'll go for the distribution function, okay, what is the distribution function at 7 will be different, okay. So at 2 is 1 out of 36, at 3 is 3 out of 36, you just have to add, okay. Go on adding 1 out of 36, then 2 out of 36, then 6 out of 36, okay. Then your 10 out of 36, 15 out of 36, then your 21 out of 36, then 26 out of 36, then 30 out of 36, 33 out of 36, okay. Then your 35 out of 36 and 1, okay, 36 out of 36, right? Fine. So the probability distribution you can write, and probability distribution will be 2 1 by 36, 3 2 by 36, the order pair we will assume, okay, the real value along with its corresponding probability mass function, okay. So the next part is an example. Again here we have, so here it is given that a random variable x has the following probability function, that means the values of x are here and the corresponding probability mass function are given in terms of your k, okay. And here the first bit says that find the value of k, right? So what you will do here, you take the sum of the probability mass functions, okay, and definitely by this property you know that I'll take the sum of all and you are supposed to get 1, okay, right? So what are the quadratic terms? Few quadratic terms are here, 7k squared, 2k squared and k squared is your 10k squared, right? Then plus what are the linear terms? K, 3k is 4k and 5k will be 9k, sorry, k, 4k and 5k will be 9k, minus 1 equals to 0. By taking the middle term splitting here for this quadratic equation, I'll get k as 1 by 10 or minus 1, and this will definitely discard it, okay, because the probability mass function or PMF can never be negative, right? So now let's assign the the probability mass, the probability distributions, okay. Probability distribution of x, 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, okay. So the probability mass functions will be your 0 1 by 10, 2 by 10, 2 by 10, 3 by 10, then k squared will be 1 out of 100, okay. Then your 2 out of 100, 7 by 100 plus 1 by 10 is your 17 by 100, right? And the distribution function here is your 0 1 by 10, then your 3 by 10, 5 by 10, 8 by 10, 81 by 100, 83 by 100, you just go on adding, okay, and finally you'll get 1, 700 by 100, okay. Now you are done with finding the value of k. So this kind of question you must come across while solving the gate question, okay. So the second bit we have, it says that what is the probability of x less than 6, okay. Less than 6 means it is corresponding to your all these values, okay. Probability mass function from the sum of the probability mass function from 0 to 5, okay, for 0 to 5, okay. So rather than finding that, we can go for 1 minus the probability of x greater than or equals to 6, which is the complementary function of this, and similarly we can get the second answer also, okay. So 1 minus probability of getting x greater than 6 is greater than or equals to 6 is 2 by 100 plus 17 by 100, okay. 100 minus or plus 17 by 100 is your 81 by 100, and for this one is 19 by 100, okay. And the last one here is your x lying between 0 to 5, okay. 0 to 5 means it will count from 1 to 4, okay, because this is 0, and we have already found this one as your 8 by 10, okay, because we are taking the sum of all, right, for the distribution function here. So this will be your 8 by 10. Otherwise you can write it as probability mass PMF at 1, PMF at 2 plus PMF at 3 and plus PMF at 4. Fine, this is okay to write, okay. So this is the third question probably we have, right, not the first. Then fourth one, okay. So these are a few problems I have solved, but in next class we will solve many more related to the competitive or the gate, okay. So here the PMF are given, okay, for let us say your random variable x, okay, because we have already assigned as x, okay. So first of all let us write the real values we have are here 1 to 5, okay. That means 1 2 3 4 and 5, okay, and the corresponding PMFs are here 1 by 15, okay, x by 15, and 2 by 15, 3 by 15, 4 by 15 and 5 by 15. If you'll add up all, you'll get 1 definitely, okay. So the first bit, let's go for the first bit here, probability that x equals to 1 or 2, okay, which means what, 1 and 2 they should be mutually exclusive or disjoint events, okay. That means your probability that x equals to 1 plus probability that x equals to 2, these are all because they will be corresponding to two different sets of outcomes, okay. So this will be 1 by 15 plus 2 by 15, or else I will write it as 1 by 5 or 3 by 15, okay. And the last one here, or the second bit, we have probability that the event that x is lying between 1 by 2 to 5 by 2 given that x is greater than 1, okay. So this is the conditional probability we have. What do we know? Probability that a given b will be probability of a intersection b divided by probability of b, right. So I can write here as probability of the first event x lying between 1 by 2 to 5 by 2 intersection x greater than 1 divided by probability that x greater than 1, right. So now see, for the first event it is x is lying between 0.5 to 2.5, that means it is referring to your 1 and 2, but intersection or end x is greater than 1, that means it will strictly follow the probability that x equals to 2, right. That is the common we have in between these two events, okay. Divided by x is greater than 1, rather than finding this we can go for the complementary event of this, which is 1 minus probability that x equals to 1, right. So x equals to 2 will be your 2 by 15, it's given, okay, divided by 1 minus 1 by 15, okay, that means which is your 2 by 14 or 1 by 7, okay. So see, these are a few examples related to your discrete random variables. So in next class we will solve a lot of questions related to the discrete random variables, and also we will discuss about the continuous random variables. Okay, but you go on trying as much question and for related to your previous year, and let me know, right, and wish you all the luck.